Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. For today's video, I will be looking into the dangers of driving under the influence of alcohol and trying to understand why people who've had too much to drink continue to get behind the wheel of a car, endangering not only their own lives, but others too. Drink drivers have been playing a dangerous game for quite some time on the world's roads, but it's a topic that, despite my passion for, I haven't delved deep into it here on my YouTube channel. Here in the United Kingdom alone, approximately 1 in 6 deaths are related to drivers who drink excessive amounts of alcohol before getting behind the wheel of a vehicle. That's an average of 3,000 people dying or being seriously injured on the UK's roads each year. That number, of course, doesn't even take into account those who occur minor injuries through accidents which involve alcohol. According to the Drink Driving Facts website, which will be linked in the description box below for those interested, shows that the most common age group for drink drivers is males between the ages of 17 and 29. Looking back on previous studies for drink driving, in 2004, 590 people were killed through alcohol-related incidents on the road, and also 2,350 were seriously injured, and then a further 14,050 developed minor injuries. In 2016, over 9,000 people were killed or severely injured through drink driving. And over in America, every 51 minutes, someone is killed in a crash which involves alcohol. Alcohol is a strong chemical that can have many different effects on our human bodies, especially when we drink over our suggested and recommended amount. When you have drunk between 4 to 6 units of alcohol, your brain and nervous system begins to become affected by the toxin. Not only by this time will you perhaps begin to feel lightheaded and unable to make decisions, but you will also begin to lose your sense of coordination and your reaction time will dramatically begin to decrease. After drinking around 8 to 9 units of your favourite alcoholic beverage, your speech becomes affected by becoming much slower than normal, your vision is also affected, and at this point, your liver will not be able to completely cleanse the body of alcohol overnight, so at this point, you will more than likely wake up the following day with a hangover. All side effects mentioned is a good indication why alcohol and driving do not go well together. In an article published back in 2017, it was noted that more than 1 in 10 millennials think they can drink over the limit and still get behind the wheel of a car to drive. 40% will let their friends drive while drunk simply because they've done it before. And the following figure is particularly an interesting one. 20% of men and 7% of women admit that they would let their friend drive drunk simply to avoid an argument. When making the decision to drive after having too much to drink, many do not think of the possible consequences for not just themselves, but for others also. Being caught drink driving can not only land you with a criminal record, a fine, prison time and a driving ban, but you could also be responsible for killing or injuring an innocent person. An interesting fact for youngsters who get involved with alcohol from a young age, they are in fact 7 times more likely to become involved with an alcohol-related incident within their lives. Many believe that the liver is able to dismiss all alcohol after a good night's sleep and some over-the-counter tablets like paracetamols, but this is not the case. As previously mentioned, after drinking between 8 and 9 units, the liver will be unable to do its job in just a few hours while you attempt to simply sleep off your hangover. This means that alcohol will more than likely still be in your system the day after your drinking binge, meaning that you should never get into your car and attempt to drive the day after your drinking splurge. In this instance, the body needs to go at its own pace to sober up, which in some cases can take some time. It's worth bearing in mind that the way alcohol affects our body can vary depending on our circumstances, like for example your height, your weight, the amount of alcohol in your system, and what you've had to eat. Many who end up drinking and driving typically do not plan to do so ahead of time. They make the decision whilst already being under the influence of alcohol when their body is unable to distinguish between what is right and what is wrong. Because of this, many people do not pre-plan asking a sober friend or family member to pick them up to get them home safely, or thinking to ring up a taxi to get them home. Those who've had too much to drink tend to make impulsive decisions, and not to think things through too much before making a choice. Not to mention that, especially here in the United Kingdom, we are a society which expects many people to consume alcohol. The pub culture is extremely popular over here, which results in many feeling as though they are expected to drink alcohol, as well as it being so-called normal behaviour during social events and nights out. Meaning that sometimes people do not expect not to be fit enough to drive back home themselves. However, there are many reasons one makes the decision to drink and drive, and this varies from person to person. It is important to take action if you think you have an alcohol problem, and to not be ashamed to admit that there's a problem there that needs sorting out. Of course, I am in no way telling people that they shouldn't go out and have a good time by having some drinks. Just make sure that you make the right decision. If you've had too much to drink, the right decision is to call upon a sober friend or family member for a lift back home, or ring a taxi service. And that means that everyone is able to get home safely, and you are not putting your own life at risk as well as anyone else's. There is no doubt in my mind that consuming too much alcohol changes someone's perspectives, their behaviours and their mindset, and we should all be as careful as possible when consuming alcohol. One simple act of getting behind a wheel when drunk can severely change both your life and others as well. If you feel able to, please share your experiences with drunk drivers in the comment section down below. If you like this video, then please leave it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you in my next video.